Good morning, everyone. This is another Monday webinar, our weekly webinars, which we tried not to skip, although we did had a skip last week's webinar. But we are back today, and my goal today is to help you to learn one more skill or to understand one more very important skill which will help you to improve in your FM business, in your network marketing business. Before I start, I just would like to see our attendees. Yes, we've got some attendees. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give a short presentation about the skill which we're going to talk today. If you do have any questions, please post them meanwhile, and I'll try to answer them afterwards. So basically, the skill I'm going to tell you today is the skill which helps your people, your prospects, your customers to believe you, to want to sign up with you, to want to buy products from you, and what is actually very important in this skill. But before we start talking about the skill itself, we need to talk about the problem we are trying to sort out with the skill. So we all say good things to prospects, right? We tell them about our wonderful company, we tell about our wonderful products, and about the wonderful income opportunity we can get when we join FM. So if you think about it, the prospects, while listening to you, they want wonderful company. You want to work with a company which has good records, which is a reliable company, right? We want wonderful products like products like perfumes and products which we can use, which is something unique that is not in the market. And we all want to have more money. I mean, there is not that many people in the world who wouldn't want to have extra money. And then when you actually talk with them, you offer all that. You offer a wonderful company, which is FM Group, and we all know about we just celebrated 10-year anniversary. During this 10-year, it made a huge difference, and it has been a very reliable company. You then offer them wonderful products. There is no doubt that our perfume is the best in the market. There is no doubt about how good quality is our makeup and our coffee and all the other products. I mean, when people try them, they realize how wonderful they are. And obviously, you offer them to make money either with retailing or building the MLM structure. So at the end of the presentation, your prospect, after hearing all what you offer, says no. So what happened here? The prospect wanted these things, and you offered all these things. So there is no difference in what they wanted and what you offered. So why did they say no? It sounds very strange, doesn't it? Well, what is happening is that your prospects don't believe you. They don't believe that they're going to be successful. They don't believe that they know enough people they can offer this opportunity. They don't believe that, someone is going to pay, buy products from them. They don't believe that, they're going to build this big structure and actually, be able to succeed in this. So what do we need to do? How do we need to work this out? How we need to change that? So there is key offers, obviously. You can tell, okay, so people don't believe me. That's it. That means this business doesn't work for me. Then I'm gonna, just quit. What's the point of doing if people don't believe me? Or we can actually learn the skill to fix this. Learn the skill to actually learn how to make our prospects believe. You see, we don't need more good things to say to people. We can tell them, how many of one second products won, or how many, better, like this new star program has been introduced, or how many new cars and incentives. We don't need to tell them all products. We need to learn how to tell these things, how to help them believe. In my previous webinars, I told you about the different skills of how to work with people's mind. But today, basically, the skill which I'm gonna talk with is the actual learning to tell it in a very, very different way. It's to actually using all these skills you learned so far, but using them in a form of telling them a story. Why is it exactly we need to tell a story? Well, stories is something we grow up to. You know, when we were kids, we all wanted to believe it. So when someone tells us the story, you're more engaged in that. If you just hear bare facts, that's not going to work. We want to hear a story. We want to, relate that story. I mean, everyone, why do people read books? Why do we watch movies and films? It's just because we love that story. We love something getting into our brain. And to tell you how important this is, I want to show you this video. So I'm going to screen share my screen, so you should be able to see it. Okay. Let me see if you can see it. Okay. So this is a video of how our brain is actually working. Why is storytelling so important? So storytelling is much more memorable than the bare facts. And if you look at people's brain, you can see the main difference. Because when you listen to, let's say, PowerPoint presentation about a topic in a bullet point forms, like even when you listen to this webinar, probably the only two areas in your brain which works is this number one area, which is called the Broca's area, which you can see here, and also the Wernicke's area, which is number two. So these are simply the language processing areas of the brain where words are turned into meaning, but nothing else. So what we need to do there, we need to work a different part of the brain, which is called motor cortex. When you are being told a story, not only are these language centers in the brain activated, but also the area in the brain associated with experiencing the story's events come to life too. For example, if the story includes an action such as, kicking or running, this is just the example of what gives this graphic. This motor cortex of your brains will light up. If a story has details, such as mentioning someone's hands like leather, our sensory response will light up. The brain reacts as if you were experiencing the story firsthand. And that's why we, like in FM, we tend to tell people stories. So instead of just saying, our cleaner, let's say our drink cleaner is very good. It promotes all the fat and all the hair, and it just works wonderful on all the pipes. These are just facts. People, are not going to process these facts, but we're not going to realize, what is the actual power. We just hear these, we process it, we have it in the head, but we don't actually think about it. We don't actually imagine this. But if you actually tell them the story, how you felt, if you tell them the story, how you actually used that product, or, if it wasn't you, someone else used it, it's going to be so much different. The same we do with our, we also do the same thing with our business stories, how we approach people in the street, what do we tell them and everything. And also how do we achieve things. And that's how people process. If you just tell them the bare facts, how much you can earn in FM, how much you need to input work, this is not going to work. Stories is not going to work. So there is more. Scientists have also found that telling a story can plant emotions, thoughts, and ideas into the brain of the listeners. In studies at Princeton University, the brain activity of a woman telling a story and her listeners was monitored, and as she told her story, her listeners' brain activity went into this sync with hers. This means that writers have the ultimate power to influence others. With a powerful and effective story, you can activate your readers' brains, or your prospects' brains, and make them feel like they are experiencing it firsthand, influencing the emotion you want them to be. So I know this is like a mere fact, but the idea is that when you actually understand these facts, then you actually understand these facts, you realize how it is important. I am working at the moment on the another video, which gonna give you an example of one of the story, which we're gonna tell you. So I'm gonna send to everyone who registered to this webinar, I'm gonna send you the link to a different video, which is gonna tell you the story. It's not only gonna actually show you the story, how I'm gonna tell it, but you're also gonna see the tips of how I'm doing the story and what exactly works. So it's gonna be the technique covered as well. So please check your emails and it's gonna be sent to you. And if you're watching a YouTube webinar recording right now, the link is gonna be posted once it's available below in the comments. So as I said, if you have any questions, you can post them now or send them later to the email address. And also you can comment in our YouTube after you watch the recording. But don't forget that this video is going to be followed by the story and the technique of how to do the story. So you will be able to try it out yourself and see if this technique works for you. So that's it for today. This webinar is going to be quite short, but I want you to understand the main difference and why it is that people listen to the stories and react on the stories much more than to actually just hear the fact. So I hope you found it useful, and don't forget there is going to be another video of the technique of how to tell the story. So thank you very much again. Have a lovely week and amazing end of the month. We only got one more day left. And please do watch our previous webinars about the skills if you want to learn them. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.